So, I'm going to ask you guys a interesting question. What do you think it would be like if J. Jonah Jameson died? Like, what if Marvel just decided to kill off Jameson? What if they wanted their own, like, Tom King, Bane kills Alfred moment? So, what would that be like? Now, the reason why I say Jameson would be the Alfred moment is because there's no way they're going to kill Aunt May. They've tried that and they back in the 90s and they immediately got cold feet afterwards. And they're never going to kill Mary Jane because no matter how much Nick Lowe and Tom Brevoort hate the idea of Peter being with Mary Jane, they're never going to do it because they know if they ever killed Mary Jane, the entire Spider-Man fandom would literally storm Marvel and try to hang him in the streets. And, like, yeah. Nick Lowe would be swinging from a tree branch by the end of, if they said we're gonna kill off Mary Jane, and Peter's gonna be forever free of her. Hey, and what's going on at Marvel? Like, why are the door? Who's yelling at the door? Oh God, yeah. So let's be clear on that. So J. Jonah Jameson, the reason why I think he would be the one to get killed off permanently is because he's a seminal Spider-Man character. He's been a major supporting Spider-Man character, and it would definitely, like, if you want to draw in names, this guy. And also, I think it would also kind of stir up some controversy because, you know, Stan Lee saw a lot of himself in Jameson. So to permanently kill off J. Jonah Jameson, and you could say, oh, but they've killed off other supporting Spider-Man characters before. You know, they've brought back the original Gwen Stacy to fight Gwenpool. They chickened out of killing off Aunt May, and they've chickened out of killing off other characters like Flash Thompson. Flash Thompson, you can make the argument, yeah, he had, he's a superhero. When you become a superhero, dying is off the list. But Jameson doesn't have that. Jameson doesn't really have a thing to really save him. If he dies, it's permanent. Like, it's more than likely permanent, unless they use time travel or some old bullshit. So let's say, like, again, I'm surprised Tom King's death of Alfred has lasted this long. I mean, they killed him in, 2018? It's been now 6 years? That's some serious restraint there, DC, to not bring back Alfred Pennyworth. And that's a video I could do in of itself, should Alfred Pennyworth come back or not. I think that might actually be the next video. But getting back on point, the big thing that you really have to, think about with the idea of Jameson getting killed off is because he's gone through changes. Like, Jameson is no longer, out to get Spider-Man. He's a podcaster who's actually, he knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he's actually made a podcast of, being cool with Spider-Man. And yeah, they have their ups and downs, but they still are cool. They're still cool. And Jameson goes to Parker sometimes, and Parker goes to Jameson for help. So that's one of the things I like about new Spider-Man, is that there's this new dichotomy between Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson, and I really do appreciate it. But the idea of it is, the idea of, if we're going to permanently kill off J. Jonah Jameson, how would that look? Obviously, Peter Parker is going to have the old Parker guilt, because it would have to be a tragedy. And what would that tragedy be? And we'll backtrack to Spider-Man in a bit. But how should Jameson die? That's kind of a big question we should ask ourselves right now. How should he die? I have two ways. One, the obvious one is death by villain, whether that's death by Goblin, by Green Goblin, or I would say more poetic, he would probably be killed by Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, because he did help create the Scorpion. Or the or killed by Smythe and the Spider Slayers, because Jameson also funded Spencer Smythe, Alistair Smythe's dad, into helping him build the Spider Slayers. So maybe have it be a Spider Slayer that kills him. I would say it's something poetic. Again, Scorpion or the Spider Slayers that kills him. Or you just have Jameson die, and this would be another one, and I think this would be more, because then you have something that Spider-Man can take his anger out on. You could have Peter take his anger out on Gargan or the Spider Slayers or Smythe. You can have him fight that. But the other way I would do it is maybe he just dies of a disease. Like Jameson just reveals, hey, Parker, I just found out I got cancer and there's nothing I can do. So I think that's something about like Peter's need to like, because he can't punch cancer. He can't fight that. So so now Peter's just there with Jameson as the end is coming. And I feel like that would be a poignant story of like, and it's something they tried to do with Aunt May dying in the 90s before they retconned that was Norman fucking with him. So I would say like have it be like Jameson reveals, hey, I've got, pancreatic cancer or lung cancer from the smoke, all the smoking I did. And, I would say that would be kind of a more thing, because again, it would have to be it would be something that Peter can't control. You could say, oh yeah, if it was the Scorpion or the Spider Slayers, Peter can just go web sling after them and beat them, just destroy Spider Slayers, beat the shit out of Smythe, or pummel Gargan into the ground. But then it's just a thing of like, it was all my fault, I couldn't save it. Here, Parker is just going to be like, it's somehow my fault and all the guilt, and Jameson's going to be like, how the hell is me getting cancer your fault, Parker? Seriously. It's anything, it's my fault. And it's something that Peter would Peter would learn not everything is his fault. And I feel like that's something that's a story of guilt that like, it would be kind of a cool story of like Jameson sitting with Parker and being like, this ain't your fault, kid. If anything, it's mine, and I'm paying the consequences. But, I'm still here, and I'm going to make do with what I got. I feel like it'd also be a great send-off, because it wouldn't be instantaneous. It wouldn't be like a, oh my god, shock thing. It would be an initial shock if you said, hey, Jameson's got cancer, and it's stage 4. He's dying. Like, it's over. So it would be a great storyline of like Spider-Man trying to like save, and also being conflicted, because like Jameson caused me a lot of hell, but like in recent times he was never a bad guy. I mean, yeah, he did help create the Spider Slayers and the Scorpion, but like he's a good person deep down. Like he's a good father. He's a good boss. He just hated me for and even then he had justifiable reasons. So I think it would be a fun story of him like web slinging around talking to like, Reed Richards, and it would be a good callback of like, Peter, we tried this, man. We tried this with Marvel years ago, and it didn't work then. It's not gonna work now. I think also that kind of initial shock that Jameson is dying, and that way you could have more readers come in and kind of like, hey, Jameson is dying each issue, and then you get to the issue of him passing on. That's going to be the big shock. And I feel like there would also be a lot of like reverence for Jameson as a character, and also like giving him kind of a dignified death rather than kind of a shock value. I feel like that would work better. That's the one thing I would say like you could have over with DC with Marvel, is that, Alfred's death by Bane was shock out. Here, if you killed off Jameson in a like giving him a disease that Spider-Man just can't punch away or magic away or something like that, I think that would be a little more dignified for a character like Jameson. That way, you can have him stay around as the disease is like eating him, is like killing him, but you still have him be a prominent part of Parker's life, and also have like last rites, spending time with John, his son, and also like, he's like, my wife is gone, man. Like, I think it'd also be kind of poignant and like also like a good tribute to Stan, because Jameson's wife is dead. He lost his wife to a shooting, and it would be like kind of like how Stan probably felt by the end, because then he'd get to see Joan again. He got to see Joan in the afterlife. So I think Jameson would be like, look, Parker, I made my peace with it. I'm gonna go see my wife again. And I know, I know there's an afterlife. There's fucking gods flying around and stuff like that, and there's the devil, so obviously there's a god. So I'm gonna go see, it's cool. We're cool. I'm gonna stay around for as long as I can. I'm not gonna make I'm gonna make this cancer work for it. But I'm gonna at the end, I'm gonna go see my wife. It's all gonna be good. And also, like, I'd love that kind of effect of like Peter again, like this man gave me hell for decades, and and now I'm just watching him die, and there's a part of me that should be jumping in joy, but I can't bring myself to it. Also, like, again, like it'd be a great callback to everyone at the Bugle, like um, Robbie Robinson, everyone else, Betty, all of them coming together for Jameson's funeral. I think it'd just be like if we were to kill off Jameson, if I was editor with Spider-Man Comics and they said, hey, we got an idea to kill off J. Jonah Jameson, I would say, let's not shock value kill him by villain. Let's have him be dignified and have him stick around for like, I'd have to say like you find out in one issue and then 12 issues later, that'd be a full year because he'd maybe say like, hey, I've got 1 year. They're giving me like a year, so I'm going to make do with it. And 12 issues later, he's gone. Yeah, make it a big issue. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below if Marvel was to kill off J. Jonah Jameson, how would you do it, and how do you think it would play out? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.